International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It also marks the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz death camp in Poland. Today, 56 survivors gathered where the camp once stood. One survivor, 86-year-old Tova Friedman, who was brought to the camp at age 5 with her mother, she said that she still remembers the cries of the women around her. Speaking to an audience today, she recalled some of those moments while denouncing a rise of anti-Semitism against Jewish people in the U.S.
Stood and watched helplessly as little girls from the nearby barrack were marched away crying and shivering to the gas chamber. We have an obligation not only to remember, which is very, very important, but also to warn and to teach that hatred only begets more hatred.
And notably, only 56 survivors attended today's ceremony compared to 200 survivors at the 75th anniversary event. Again, that was just 5 years ago. The youngest survivors are now in their late 80s. Many participants said they expect this year's event to be the last where they will speak.
And right now, DC News Now's Dave Laval is joining us live from the Holocaust Memorial Museum. And Dave, you also had a chance to speak with a survivor. How are they doing this evening?
Well, good evening to you, Annalisa and Mark. Tell you, neither I or Rae Goldfarb shed any tears, but I did choke up a little bit, especially when she described the atrocities the Nazis put her family through. Goldfarb shares her ordeal with museum visitors, where she is a volunteer. She grew up in present-day Belarus, as the Nazis forced Jews into ghettos after they invaded and then exterminated Jews. Goldfarb and her mother hid in a wall between the back of the family home and their former business warehouse. They remained there for about a week, then forced to flee again after they ran out of supplies. The two eventually found their way to Poland, across Europe, before they arrived in the U.S. in 1947. Goldfarb and her mother are the only ones from the family who survived.
Mother was one of 6. My father was one of 3. Nobody survived. Uncles, aunts, cousins, other relatives, no one else survived.
Goldfarb told us out of the roughly 3,000 people in her village, less than 3 dozen survived the Holocaust. We're live at the U.S. Holocaust National Museum. Dave Laval, DC News Now.